am so confident. I am so hopeful. It's a big ocean. God is bigger than the ocean. God controls the ocean. He's gonna lead us there. We just have to give it a little bit longer.
We also had 6 aircraft that were out assisting in the search. We covered about 5,000 square miles of water today. It's a big area out there. We searched from Brunswick to St. Augustine and from the coast to 60 plus miles offshore. Around 11 o'clock this morning, an offshore angler fishing bag was found about 50 nautical miles east of St. Augustine. This bag was found by a civilian searcher who came into our area to assist. The family has confirmed that the bag belongs to JFRD firefighter Brian McClooney. Tomorrow, we're going to ramp up our search in the area that bag was found. And so we're asking anyone who has a boat that is safely capable of working about 30 to 60 miles offshore and wants to volunteer to please be right here tomorrow at the Mayport boat ramp at 7 o'clock to check in. And if you have binoculars or if you have a sat phone, please bring that with you. We're still getting a lot of questions from people about donations, and I'll say what I said at lunchtime today. Please go to jfrd.com, and there's a link that's help find them, firefighters McClooney and Walker. Again, I want to thank the community for the outpouring of support for this family, for this fire department, helping us look for these brothers. And please, I beg you to keep Stephanie and those children in your thoughts and prayers.
This is something that doesn't happen often. Oftentimes you never find the people that you're looking for. How do you feel knowing one of your own could be out there?
It's extremely encouraging that we're finding an area to start looking into. And the Coast Guard is working that area right now with flights, and we're moving some boats into that area right now as we speak. But we're also trying to get lined up for tomorrow morning, so we have the fresh crews out here ready to go out and start searching again should we not be successful during the night tonight.
Are there any searches that are going to be happening then tonight, knowing where the location of this tackle bag was found? Are you going to be searching that area tonight as well?
Yeah, we are currently moving boats into that area to search as we speak.
When will you stop tonight?
We may have some boats offshore all night tonight. We've got some people that have some pretty large boats that are asking to stay out tonight. We may let them stay out.
And how much more help do you need?
We need as many boats as we can get tomorrow that are in the range that can run it, working that 30 to 60 mile range. That's got to be some pretty big boats. Although the weather, the offshore seas are supposed to be pretty calm tomorrow, we still need to make sure that we keep the people that are searching safe.
This morning you said you were still hopeful that this is a rescue mission and not a recovery. Do you still have that feeling right now?
Absolutely. We're going to find these guys, and it's just a matter. We finally started zeroing in a little bit today, and we're going to find them. So absolutely, it's a rescue mission.
And how are you all dealing with this as his colleagues?
We're doing good. It's a range of emotions as you can expect, but everybody that's inside that command post right now and everybody that's coming in off the water, they're extremely optimistic that this is going to happen very soon.
You have an audience here live on television. You just mentioned sort of the cry for help in terms of tomorrow. Reiterate that again for those that are just joining us in terms of the time and the location.
So if you have a boat that's capable of running offshore and working in the 30 to 60 mile range, we're asking that anybody that wants to volunteer to be here at the Mayport boat ramp at 7 o'clock in the morning, and we'll have assignments for those boats to go offshore and get out into that area and start looking.
And knowing this was a civilian, this was somebody, had they not thought to volunteer their time, maybe you wouldn't have found this clue. What would you say to that person that found this clue for you all?
Yeah, we greatly appreciate all of the volunteers, especially the civilian volunteers that are coming in and donating their time, their boat, their fuel to help us in this search. But it was fantastic that we had people out today and were able to get honed in where we needed to be.
Did you get to deliver that news to his wife?
I did not. The Coast Guard is taking care of that messaging.
What have you guys heard about as far as conditions at sea, during the search?
So I talked to some of the guys coming in today, and they said it was pretty calm today. Tomorrow is supposed to be 2 foot at 9 seconds, which is a relatively calm day as well. So we've got real good conditions. It's clear offshore. You can see a long ways. So we're blessed with good conditions right now.
And can you tell us again exactly where did you all find that bag, that tackle bag?
We located it about 50 nautical miles east of St. Augustine.
So your search is going to be primarily there. You're not going to shift searches up north as well?
Right now the plan is to inundate that area and try to see what we can find in that area.
Where should civilians meet you tomorrow? You're still going to be meeting out here since it's now zeroed in St. Augustine?
No, we're gonna meet here and run from here and run kind of southeast out of St. Johns River.
Well,
Thank you, Chief.
so much.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Now that's encouraging. JFRD just now, and you heard it live, ask, is this still a rescue mission? And we just heard them say, absolutely, with confidence, we're going to find these guys. You could tell they are still full of help.
Yes, they are. And so the big takeaway from that press conference there, they're asking anyone with a boat if you can come out at 7 a.m. tomorrow to Mayport. If you have a boat that can do this type of search, they're asking you to come out and help them tomorrow. So if you're just now joining us, we want to update you on what we're talking about here. It's been about 3 days now since 2 firefighters headed out for a day of fishing. Brian McClooney and Justin Walker, they remain missing tonight at sea.
And the search, as you can tell, thousands and thousands of nautical square miles, so many people reaching out to help. And you just heard JFRD said it was a civilian that found that tackle bag today, which is a big clue. They're redirecting their search in that area 50 miles off of St. Augustine, just showing how important it is when anybody sees anything out there to tell the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard calling Brian's wife today and saying, is this your husband's tackle bag? And she says, yes, it is. So that's a big breakthrough today.
So our On Your Side team is fanned out across the state, monitoring the search from all angles tonight.
Let's start with Heather Crawford, who is live at Port Canaveral. And Heather, it has been an emotional day, but as we say, hope is the key word tonight.
Jeannie, hope is definitely the key word. As you just heard the JFRD chief say, they are extremely optimistic that these 2 missing firefighters will be found and that it will happen soon. And that is the same sentiment we are getting from Brian McClooney's family and friends and colleagues here in Port Canaveral. So I want to walk you through now a timeline of how this has all unfolded over the past 3 days. It was here, right here at this boat ramp, Friday morning around 11 o'clock when Brian McClooney and his friend, a fellow firefighter, Justin Walker, put their boat into the water here in Port Canaveral. Then from there, they were supposed to only be gone for about a day, but they didn't, or for the day rather, but they didn't return. And so that night, McClooney's wife noticed he had not read her text messages. So at 8 o'clock, the family contacted the Coast Guard. That was Friday night. Then 24 hours after they were last seen, a massive search by air and sea began. By last night, that search had covered 24,000 square miles as far north as the South Carolina coast. And today, the big breaking news that we've gotten, a tackle bag found by a boater 50 miles outside of St. Augustine, and McClooney's wife posting on Facebook that it is Brian's and that she hopes it could be the beginning of a trail to find her and to find his friend. Now, Jessica Clark has been here in Port Canaveral all day long. Jess, I know you've been talking to firefighters and you've been talking to Brian McClooney's family, and there is, while it is a somber mood, there's just so much hope. They are convinced that they are going to be found safe, and they're holding on to that hope.
Without a doubt. And the word confident, they kept telling me that they are confident. And so earlier I spoke with Brian McClooney's wife as well as his brother. His brother sharing with me some photographs of the boat that his brother is on with his friend Justin, and also some family photos, you know, brothers making pancakes together and hanging out with fellow family members. So you kind of have a better idea of this man from Jacksonville, who he is, a family man, somebody who loves the water, loves to go fishing, and his expertise as far as survival skills and how to also help people doing fireworking work, that is going to come in handy, according to his brother and his wife.
And every square inch is going to be covered, and we are going to find them.
Stephanie McClooney is sure her husband is coming home. Jacksonville firefighter Brian McClooney and his friend Justin Walker, a firefighter from Fairfax, Virginia, were last seen at this boat ramp in Port Canaveral Friday, going out for a day of fishing. As of Monday afternoon, they have not been seen.
They were in the same firefighting class together.
McClooney's brother says his sibling and Walker are very familiar with the area around Port Canaveral.
We grew up fishing these waters, so my brother knows the area like the back of his hand. This is where we always go. usually go to the same kinds of spots, and that's what the Coast Guard and everybody else is taking into account as well.
Crews have searched about 25,000 square miles of ocean for the missing firefighters, who are also military veterans. But 3 days later, they would definitely need some food and water. And McClooney's brother is not sure what's on the boat.
The contents of the boat are kind of a variable. We don't know exactly, but we do know they brought fishing tackle. That's a great survival tool. It rained on them, I believe, so they're going to catch that. They're going to just leave the cooler open. They're going to do whatever it takes.
So the kids are asking questions, and I will say that that's the hardest part. The kids asking so many questions. They just said, you know, why don't you just go get in the boat and go get him? What is taking so long? And I said, baby, it's a big ocean. God is bigger than the ocean. God controls the ocean. He's going to lead us there. We just have to give it a little bit longer.
And that part about the children asking questions just really kind of tugs on your heartstrings, knowing what a family man he is. And also, Heather, you know, another interesting thing, 2 deployments. McClooney has been deployed twice. And so his survival skills are intact, along with whatever he needs to do to help rescue people from burning buildings. Right. And so his brother is saying, this was interesting. If there are ever 2 people to be stuck in a situation like this, these are the 2 people to get out of it.
Combat veteran, he has the skills, and he grew up in this area, so he knows these waters well. They say he's an avid fisherman who's been out time and time again.
Exactly.
And they are holding on to the hope that they will be found soon. Jess, thank you so very much. And we just heard a few minutes ago from Jacksonville Fire Rescue about the search that's happening in Mayport. Robert Bradfield is there. He joins us now live. And Robert, I understand you've been talking to searchers there.
I have, and many of them, however, not wanting to go on camera because they really are spent after spending 10 hours on the water. They tell me, though, they will be back out here tomorrow morning, and that's some good news for them because they also are holding out some hope. And the interim chief here just telling us in a news conference that he is really putting out an all call, telling anyone who has an available boat to meet here at the Mayport boat ramp starting at 7 a.m. They will then be heading to St. Augustine and be searching that area about 50 miles east where that tackle bag was found. But again, the main takeaways here, anyone who has a boat tomorrow is asked to meet here at the Mayport boat ramp starting at 7 o'clock. They will then again head to St. Augustine. And also, as the chief said, this is still a rescue mission. This is not a recovery mission. And many of the boaters that have since come in tonight also telling me that they do believe that these 2 men are still alive because of that tackle bag that was found. But again, the takeaways from this news conference, they will be searching St. Augustine starting tomorrow morning, and then anyone again who has a boat meet here tomorrow at 7. And the chief again saying this is still a rescue mission. So many of these folks here are crossing their fingers, hoping that these 2 men can be found. Again, that search though continuing tomorrow. We're live here at the Mayport boat ramp. I'm Robert Bradfield. Back to you.
Robert, thank you. And so from the air and from the water, the search is continuing right now for Brian McClooney and Justin Walker. In fact, out at Michler's Landing right now, a prayer vigil and beach walk is taking place. His wife asking for everyone to keep an eye out to look for any sign of those missing men they believe will soon be found. You can stay up to date on the latest developments on the search for these 2 firefighters on our website, firstcoastnews.com. We have a live blog where we're updating with all the tweets that are coming out and Facebook information. All the credible information is being posted there. Also on the First Coast News app, you will find more information there, and you can get alerts right to the palm of your hand. That is the latest from here in Port Canaveral. We'll have another live report for you coming up tonight on First Coast News at 7. In Port Canaveral, I'm Heather Crawford, First Coast News on your side.